I have Valley and Alifaya Calvert as the only other two people here. And as mentioned, my thought is to do QuickBooks Online today and to demo that. So I would like to get a feel for where you all are with your knowledge or use of QuickBooks, and if something in particular would be of great value to you before I start, like before I just dive into it. Because if you already know certain things about it, then I might be going through too basic, as opposed to I might assume you know some things and I go higher when you really know nothing about it. So if you could get me a feel of what your knowledge of QuickBooks is so far, and if QuickBooks is the software you're using. And since we're very few, do you guys mind opening up your cameras, or it's not possible for you guys?
Oh, it is. It is possible. Hi.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
My name is Valley.
Hey,
Um,
Valley.
so I got introduced with QuickBooks in 2019 when I used to work in Salvation Army. At that time, I would just, uh, as a RN, I was working, but like I knew QuickBook a little bit, but I never used it. And to be honest with you, I still don't use it. So yes, I have heard it, and it's great tool to keep your receipt and to document your expenses and everything. And it's a pretty good tool, but I haven't used it. I downloaded it once and everything, but then I never used it.
Okay. Are you incorporated?
I am incorporated, yes.
So how do you keep your receipts? How do you keep your records right now?
Oh, I just did my taxes. So
Corporate income taxes already?
I already filed this is my second year filing income taxes, yes.
Okay. And your year end is December?
Yes, it's year end. Yeah, my year end. My corporation year end is in December. So yes.
Wow, that's great. You're early.
Good job.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you. But the thing is, yes, I found lots of difficulty in it, and I have so many questions because I filed it. And to be honest with you, sometimes I feel like, what expense should I show? Am I under, showing it because I have to pay lots of taxes?
Did you do it yourself, or did you get somebody to do it for you?
I asked the accountant to do it for me.
Okay. But then you did your bookkeeping and then you just gave him the numbers to put to file.
Yes. And the
That's
issue is like I didn't have a car thing. I don't drive much. So like I don't have the car payment to get rid of, or like show on file. I had nothing to show on file. So like except for food. Like my accountant was laughing. I was like, you just had food. Nothing. Or else the licenses. That's it. Licenses, food, and travel max to max, the bus travel or one trip. They said that every year you can just claim one trip, right? If it is not even like if it should be regarding corporation. That's what I'm like. There are other loopholes. He said that I can, but he said that you didn't leave me anything to save the taxes. So I paid lots of taxes, and I just wanted to make sure about that. That what is happening. Like I still paid a lot. So,
So accurate record keeping is actually the place where if you don't keep your records accurately, there's very little your accountant can do at the end of it to kind of save you any taxes. So you
yes.
you have to do your part to keep your records. To, like I mentioned something last time, like I can't tell you everything that is a business expense in your case, but I could give you a framework that would help you to understand what are the possible deductions from my business. And so once you have that framework, now it becomes a thing for you to know that this thing falls within the category of what will qualify as an expense, or this thing doesn't. And I gave the example of, for me, I'm an accountant, but
Yeah.
I do content creation, I do media. So camera, green lights, all of those are expenses for me for business, but those are not typical accountant expenses. But it's in understanding the nature of your business. So when you go to a person and you don't have those records, you don't have information that's going to help them to help you, then they really can't. And I'm sure
Uh,
that's the conversation that we're trying to tell you. Like, you didn't give me anything to be able to help you to save on your taxes until you have a lot of taxes to pay.
You're so right about that. I was like, oh my God, why? Like, it was my mistake too, my behalf. Like, but whatever I had all the receipts for food, and he said that he cannot claim all of them either. So like basically I didn't have expenses and I was earning, but like at the same time he said he cannot do much other than, because you can have car expenses, you can have that. I didn't even have that one. So yeah, I ended up paying more taxes basically.
Ugh. Well, you gotta do better next time. Okay, so we're gonna get into QuickBooks, but thank you for that. So QuickBooks is definitely, if it's something you're interested in using, then this will be very useful for you. So you can start and go back from the beginning of January to then start putting your things in the system properly. Unless if you don't have a lot of, because the point is, it is a new monthly subscription that's gonna be a part of your expenses. But the good
Okay.
news is it's a business expense,
Okay.
right? So it's your corporation that's going to be paying for it. So if it's something that's going to help you to keep your stuff organized, and by all means, it's maybe like $30-$40 a month for the subscription, but it's worth it to save you all the taxes that you're going to be doing at the end of it, right? So we're going to dive into it. Thank you. Alifa, is there something
Yeah.
that you're looking forward to for this?
No, actually, I'm also a CPA, and I actually joined on behalf my friend, other colleague told me to, because Tanya D'Souza, she's also a
Okay.
CPA, and she helps in helping the nurses get their books organized and do the taxes. And I just joined for that, and I'm also was here for helping.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay. Great. So we got two accountants today. So Ali, so Vali,
Yeah.
we're all here for you today, and a little
Oh,
bit for Minette.
thank you so much. To be honest, I'm in between the contract. It's been 2 months I haven't worked. And I was like, okay, before getting any contract, let me just, and I saw this. I was like, okay, let me join in. I'm not doing anything, any productive. I said, let me join in the Zoom, and like, whatever information I can get, I can at least meet people too. That's useful, right? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Ida. Yeah,
Yeah.
so just like you said, to meet people, that's one of our very big goals here. Sorry, my video is not on today because I'm actively packing. I'm going to be leaving the country today, later in the day. So I'm actively busy packing up my stuff. But yes, so we are happy to have people like you who just come, even just to meet people, because like I always say, our future plans is one day to have a huge convention with us all meeting in one big city, for a big nursing convention for us, the travel nurses or those that are in the group. So I'm so glad to have you here. My name again is Minette. I've been coordinating the group, and hopefully we
Yeah.
get to meet sometime. Valley, enjoy your session. Sorry, Ida, you can take over.
All
Thank
right,
you so
great.
much. Thank you so much, and safe travels. Safe travels to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And welcome, Alifia. Alifia, welcome. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was told about you coming, so we're so glad to have you.
thank you. Thanks for the invite.
You're welcome.
Okay, so this is a sample QuickBooks file that is available to everyone who has access to the internet. This is public. And just in case anybody is wondering if I'm sharing like an actual client file, this is a public file that QuickBooks puts there. Anything you put into this data file, once you sign out, it gets reset. So you can play with it, put anything you want to put in, but once you're out, it's gone. When you get into QuickBooks, when you are starting out, your accountant, my advice is don't do the setup yourself. Get somebody to do it for you so that at least you're starting from a clean place. So
Okay.
if your accountant or bookkeeper or anyone who is very familiar with QuickBooks can do the setup for you, perfect. Now they are gonna do the stage which is before this, which is to create the company file, make sure you have a chart of accounts. So make sure you have a chart of account, which would be those lists of transactions. Tanya had shared a list before in Excel, which was a list of possible expense categories. Again, that's not an exhaustive list based on what I've already told you. You need to be able to identify what's my situation. And so you can always go into the chart of accounts, or the person who sets up your file will get into the chart of accounts and create all the accounts that are necessary for you. Those accounts are broken down in general from the bank, accounts receivable, current assets. It's not the end of the world if you pick the wrong type of account. We can always change that in the back end, but ideally get somebody to set it up from the very beginning so it's done right. Because when you have a bank type account and a credit card type account, they're able to connect to QuickBooks. You see these two exchange arrows here. It means that they're able to connect to your online banking. So when you see those two exchange arrows, it means that this account is being synchronized to your online banking. And so it's pulling information from the bank. And that way, what you see here as a QuickBooks balance is whatever is in the journal, it's in the ledger per QuickBooks. But what you see as a bank balance in the column here is what the bank actually says if that connection is still established with the bank. So it's important to be able to set up the right account type for your business credit card. And we always say, when you create your business, please separate your transactions, right? Have your business bank account, have your business credit card, and ideally only use those for company transactions. On the rare occasion that an expense passes in there, which is not a business expense, well, we're going to classify that to shareholder loans, but try as much as possible to only use the business card for business and use your personal card for personal. So you would set up a checking account, set up ideally a savings account where you're putting the money that you're reserving for taxes. And if you want, you could set up an additional account. But in general, would advise you to always have at least 2 bank accounts, 1 credit card account in the name of your business. The rest of that depends on what you have. Most of you would not have accounts receivable because they pay you like right off the bat, right there. You're not invoicing the client to get paid much later. And then the current assets, like most of those you don't need, but it depends again on what your structure is. And equity is something that we take care of. It's just like what's the share capital of the company. Opening balance equity is one of those accounts that once you connect your online banking to your QuickBooks, if there is an existing balance at the bank, QuickBooks doesn't know where to put it because every transaction has 2 sides to it. When money is coming into the bank, it's coming from somewhere. So it's a revenue going into the bank or it's something. So the same thing, like every transaction has 2 sides. That's just general accounting jargon. So QuickBooks knows that. And if you're connecting a bank account to QuickBooks and there is a balance sitting already in the bank account, QuickBooks doesn't know where to put that other side of the transaction to. So it throws it into opening balance equity. And so often when I take on a new file, I would see that this account has a balance when it really shouldn't. There's got to be a very good reason why there is an amount in opening balance equity. For most people, it's just a mistake that is there. And then you come down to your income account. For most of you, you only need 1 income account, which is your service income. And then the expenses, this one has a whole bunch. For the expenses, you probably don't need a cost of goods sold, but you could probably have it. So if you have people who so cost of goods sold is something that's related to the revenue of the company. So the expenses that are incurred for the revenue. Let's say if you were selling products, this is just an abstract. If you're selling products, the cost of manufacturing those products would go into the cost of goods sold accounts. So and all of this, the categories here and the detail type is what is determined by, it's what you pick from QuickBooks, but the name is whatever you choose to call it. And those different categories and detail type determine where they go on your balance sheet or on your income statement. So that's why this would be important. Let me just go back over here. And again, you don't need to master all of those things. You just need to ideally get somebody to set it up for you so that when you get into the file, you don't have to worry about this. You just have to start using it. Wait, there's something, I'm trying to reset something here. Now, expenses, forget about what is here. QuickBooks will automatically create some expense accounts for you once you set up the account, but you can always come and rename the accounts. Again, I don't recommend you go playing around with your chart of accounts if you don't know what to do. Let your accountant take care of that. But you can always come here. Let's say this is an account that QuickBooks created and you wanted to call it something else and it's still in the travel category, for example. You just have to come there and click on edit and then you call this. In my client files for travel nursing, I break down travel into a travel accommodation. That way all the hotels go into that account. I have an account for travel meals and I have an account for travel flights and transportation. So you would see travel, but you want to be able to track what goes where. So these are all things that you're able to change. You can't change the type I don't recommend you change the type. I don't recommend you even rename this without speaking to whoever takes care of your accounting, or you let them know to take care of that for you. Now, with the basic of the chart of accounts set up, the next important thing I would usually ask clients to do, or you guys would have to do if you're setting this up, is to connect your bank account to QuickBooks. So that bank account that you created at Royal Bank or whatever bank that is in the name of your business, you are able to connect it to QuickBooks. So when you go, let me move this away from here. So when you go to your banking and you come over here, when it's not connected, there's nothing showing here. So you would have to come and then choose to link an account. You'd pick the account that this relates to. Let's say it's Royal Bank of Canada, and then you have to sign up. Here is a demo, so it won't let me go further than this. But this page will normally just let you put in your banking username and password and answer a security question. And then in the next page, it lets you choose that this account at the bank, what account do you want to link it to in QuickBooks? And so for this one, it's already done. For these two accounts, they're already done. And so what you see here is that the bank balance at the physical bank is being read by QuickBooks as of the 7th. So as of the 7th of January, this dummy account's bank balance is $40,000, but QuickBooks is showing $21,000, and it's telling us that there are 12 transactions that need to be classified. These transactions will be on the list down here. So for all intents and purposes, what you need to know how to do is, it's not about connecting this. It's about knowing how to classify this. If you want to get to do some level of bookkeeping by yourself, you just need to know how to classify these transactions. So Air Express, for example, again, these are going to be things that you identify because you actually did the expenses. But in me doing this, I would identify, okay, this is hotel, so I'll put it to travel accommodation. This is parking, I'll put it to
Recording in
travel.
progress.
Did something
Did
happen?
something happen?
Yes, my phone died. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is air. I'm just going to normally put this to okay, so let's call this, so this is air. So it's going to be, what vendor is that? So usually I would not want to create different accounts, say Air Canada, WestJet, whatever different airlines are. I might just call an account airlines, a vendor name, and then I would add that simply. And it's, most of you are only doing Canadian dollars. So this is what it's going to be. It's a supplier, it's going to Canadian dollars. It's airlines, the supplier name is that. I'm going to save. Most of you don't have to deal with sales taxes. So this part here will not be activated by the time we're setting up your file. If you already have it activated, then this is just going to be exempt. So even though the airline is charging you sales taxes, because your services are exempt from sales taxes, you are not able to reclaim that amount from the government. And so you don't get to classify it as a reclaimable amount here. That's why you put exempt as your tax code here. Now, uncategorized expense is a place where QuickBooks is generally going to suggest for you to put the transaction, because it doesn't know where to put it. But it's up to you or your bookkeeper or your accountant to then put the right category here. Okay, so while you're looking at the screen, this is an exact representation of what comes from your online banking, except for the column for payee, the column for category, and the column for taxes. So that's to say the date, the description, and the amount spent or received, those are pulled directly from your banking. And then payee and category and tax is QuickBooks trying to guess where to go. Why am I stressing this? A lot of people have no idea how QuickBooks works. And when they come into a thing like this, they say, oh, it's QuickBooks is putting it here. I don't know what to do. And they just click add. When you click add, it's going to post the transaction. Let me post this wrong transaction. If I don't change anything, and of course there's an error message here, and I pick this and I just say add, it's going to post this to uncategorized expense. When I go to my income statement I'm going to see a total of transactions for uncategorized expense that we still need to figure out, because uncategorized expense is not a category on the tax return. We still need to give it a name. And so in doing the bookkeeping, you have to remember to put your things where they belong. That way it's easier on you and whoever is doing your taxes at the end of the year to have a clean report, which let me go over to report. If you go to reports, profit and loss, and I'm going to come back to that window. Okay. So that chart of account that was set up, I told you it determines which line item goes to, which account goes to where, the type. So everything that was created as an income type account, let me go back here and I'll open the balance sheet for you too. But oopsie, that's slow. Everything that was created as an income type account, which is here, type here, income, goes to your profit and loss at the income section up here. So you're going to see it as part of your total income. Everything that is a cost of goods sold type account here, if a transaction gets posted to it, then it appears at this cost of goods sold section. That way you're able to look at your report, which is a profit and loss, and see how much did I actually make in this period? How much did I bill my clients? How much did it cost me for the services or for this revenue? And you would see your gross profit right here. And now you can see the other expenses at the bottom. And if you click on any line, it opens and shows you the detail of what is in there. So if a mistake is made, we can still identify the mistake, but it's usually better to do it properly from the beginning than to be trying to fix mistakes at the end of it. And so for those who can afford it, it's better to get your accountant or your bookkeeper to take care of all of this for you. For those who cannot afford it, then you should learn how to do it and do it right. Because if you do it and do it wrong and it comes to us, we still need to fix it. And then it's double for you because it's double the time you already did it and the time it's going to take for us to clean it up. It might have been easier for us to do it in the first place. So this comes down to like, how much time do I want to put into doing this? And is it worth it for me to sit and be trying to figure out my accounting, my taxes, my bookkeeping, or should I pay someone to take care of it for me while I go and I do more hours at work? Because what might take me 1 hour to do in your books is probably going to take you 3-4 hours to do because you don't know what you're doing, which is normal. And so you need to think about it in terms of the trade-off. If I were doing 4 extra hours at my shift, is the money I'm going to receive from there more than what I would have been paying somebody to do the thing? And you kind of look at those trade-offs there. So one thing you could look at it in terms of the money, but the other thing you could look at it in terms of like, do I even want to do the bookkeeping? Or is it something that I actually want to do and I want to invest the time to learn it? And so it comes down to what you want. So either way you go, your books have to be right. And for the books to be right is to understand how to use the tool that you've chosen to use in order to make the things right for you. If there's any questions, please raise your hand, you ask, or I could keep going to show the next things within QuickBooks. No questions so far. Okay. So QuickBooks is able to handle payroll. And
sorry, Ida.
Yeah.
I had a question. I've forgotten. I'm gonna remember later and I'll bring it up.
Okay. Okay. QuickBooks is able to handle payroll, and like I mentioned, sales tax doesn't concern you guys unless you're registered for sales taxes, and then that's a whole different section that needs to be looked at. But all of you, in one way or another, is there a question? Okay. So QuickBooks can handle payroll, like I said. And for you to do your payroll within QuickBooks, you just need to go into the payroll section. Again, I don't recommend you set up your payroll by yourself. I recommend you get professional help to set up your payroll in your QuickBooks. And then after that, you're going to be able you might be able to continue doing the work by yourself, but get somebody to help you with that. So it is, in this file, we can't do it because it's a sample file, it's a demo file, we can't get into that. But normally you click into payroll and then you can add the names of your employees. Most of you have to be employees within your own company because that's the only way you're getting money out of it. And we've had these conversations about making the decision between dividends and salaries. And so those are decisions that you take in together with your accountant, and you see what it is that you want to take as a salary from your company. And then that's how we work backward from that, and we set up your file to take care of all of that. Give me a second. So for some of the nurses that I do work with and with whom we've already decided what the amount of salary is going to be, we create that structure within QuickBooks, and we determine that, okay, there was somebody who said he wants to receive like uh $2,000 or $3,000 every 2 weeks. That way the annual salary was around 50 something thousand that they are taking out of their company. Perfect. We set that up and we automate it so that every 2 weeks there's a direct deposit coming out of your own company into your bank account, and the taxes are being calculated directly within QuickBooks. And at the at on a monthly basis, by the 15th of the next month, the payroll deductions are being sent to the CRA or to Quebec if you're in Quebec, and Quebec. But on a monthly basis, payroll deductions are being sent there. And then at the end of the year, you are taking care of doing the T4 the T4 for the whole of Canada, or Releve 1 for Quebec, and that, yeah. And so I'm trying to think, because this one isn't, the payroll thing isn't open, so I'm kind of going with this from my head right now. But there's a lot of stuff that can be automated when you're deciding to use QuickBooks as the software that's going to take care of all of your accounting, bookkeeping, and taxes. All of it can be done within here. The only thing that cannot actually be done here is to actually file the corporate taxes, which has to be done. Like, we'll take the reports from within QuickBooks, assuming everything was done right, or we need to fix it up and then we can take it out of there. But we can take the report from within QuickBooks, which is the balance sheet, the income statement, and income statement, or the trial balance. We pull that out of QuickBooks and we use it then in our separate software to prepare your financial statement or and your corporate income taxes. And so we've already done sessions where we're showing you the scenarios where it makes sense to take salary versus taking a dividend, or salary and dividend, a combination of that. And we've already discussed about what are the kinds of expenses you can deduct. Now, the only thing is to actually then classify, make sure you're using your business account, number one, so all the things are connected to the QuickBooks, and number two, to come in here and classify them properly. That way, a lot of the work is done, and then you still need to make sure that you're keeping a copy of your receipts. Those receipts, you can keep them in paper, or you could actually have the QuickBooks app downloaded on your phone, and you can take a picture of your receipt directly on the app. And so if you do the receipt snap, it's something called receipt snap, where you actually have a physical copy of the receipt. Okay, there are three ways. You could have them scanned on your computer and then you just upload in here. You could set up forwarding to an email. It's kind of like a dummy email that's only for QuickBooks. So it could be, let's say it's ida@qbodocs.com. I wouldn't want to use that because I have my other emails that are ida. So I could use something like QBO, for example. QBO, something, whatever you choose, QBO@qbodocs.com, knowing that when you send an email from your phone to that email address, it automatically brings that receipt into your QuickBooks file, and it's going to have it as a list of receipts that are here. Now you can now come from here and just assign categories to those receipts. So it helps you to not have to keep the paper forms of the receipts, because you've attached a PDF copy of all of those receipts directly to your QuickBooks. So you could upload, you could forward, or you could do the receipt snap directly on the QBO app that's downloaded on your phone. And all of those ways bring the receipts into QuickBooks, and then they can be classified directly from here. And it's actually smart, because once it's brought in, sometimes if the dollar amount are exactly the same, it will be able to find it and then match those transactions for you, so that when you come, you're just authorizing or accepting the matches that are there. So it's a very handy tool, which is great. And there's so much that it's going to save you in terms of time doing it. And yes, there's a monthly subscription you need to pay for, but like, what's the alternative? The alternative is you losing your receipts, you not having your records accurately kept, and you not deducting all the taxes that you could have deducted just because you didn't have an accurate set of books that were kept. So for me, I think it's worth it. And I think it's not hard to set it up by yourself, but I don't recommend that you set up your QuickBooks by yourself. I recommend you get help from somebody. Me, Tanya, any other person you find. If you want to, just make sure they know QuickBooks and they understand your situation, they understand travel nursing, and get that help, get the book set up. And if you want to take care of doing your own bookkeeping by yourself, that's an easy thing to do. But those are decisions you have to take action. So make the decision to take an action. Let's take questions. Mina, did you remember your question?
I'm literally cracking my head here to remember that question.
Was it about QuickBooks?
It was about QuickBooks, and it was a really important question that I've been battling with for a while. Oh my God, I cannot.
Yeah.
But like, this information is really good. I really like that. I like that it's where is my question?
Okay. While you're thinking, let me share something here. So I noticed that a lot of you, or some of you, you have to send invoices to the agencies, right? In order for them to pay you. And
Yeah.
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 And in sending the invoices, I know some people use Excel. You don't have to use Excel. Like, Excel, it's so easy to make a mistake there. You can do that within QuickBooks. So let's say you get a contract and your client's name is ABC Staffing. Now, you come into your QuickBooks, you go to the sales section, you go to customers. In customers, you create a new customer, and this customer is called, let's say, ABC Staffing. Okay. The email address is info@abcstaffing.com. You put in their phone number, you put in all the information that's needed. You come down here, you put in their address, 123 Fig Street, Unit 1. Toronto. I hear the same on Toronto, Ontario. H1H1H1, very fake, country Canada. But let's just, for the sake of it, create this. Now, this client, I'm going to bill them in Canadian dollars. This is their name, usually an ink. That's their name. That's everything we need. Okay, I save. Now, this new client that I've created, I want to send them a bill. I come simply here and I do new transaction, create an invoice, because you will send the bill before they pay you. So you do an invoice, right? Now, you would have already created those services, and this is something that I could show you at the back. But let's say we're using the product called services, and I'm saying it's whatever description you want to put here. You put the description you're putting here, and you say it's I pressed on something here. From 1 to 3, whatever you're putting, lots of things. You can put in as many lines as you want in here. Now, this is your number of hours. Let's say you work 75 hours and the rate that you're charging them here is 100, for example. It's going to do the calculation for you. So 75 hours at 100, and that sales taxes is exempt because you guys are not charging sales taxes. You're choosing the date of your invoice. It's due in 30 days or it's due on receipt. You just change that. This is the date of the invoice. This is your invoice number. You're able to put some information here, or you can set this up at the back, and it's very simple, it's very basic. Now you can save this and you can send this directly from here. And this invoice is going to go directly to this client. So I'm going to send this. It's going to say you cannot send because it's a fake file, right? But just to show you that you don't have to create things in Excel and then you're trying to keep your records separately. Like all of that information can be right in here. And if you wanted to see what this invoice looks like, you want to customize how it looks like, let me just go back here and look at it. By the way, once you send this to them, it's going to indicate at the bottom here that invoice sent. Once they open it, it's going to let you know here that this person viewed your invoice. It shows you like an audit trail down here. And you are able to change how this invoice looks. So if you simply click on customize, normally it's going to allow you to do edit style, but you can do new style and change how you want your invoice to look. But let's just do a preview of what this one is. So I'm doing a print preview. And this is what your invoice to your client is going to look like. And you can fix it. You can change how you want it to look in the settings at the back. And the good news is once they pay you and it comes into your, if they pay you directly, if they pay you the 7,500 and it comes into your online banking, the bank is connected to QuickBooks, right? And QuickBooks is going to pull that payment into this list here in the online banking. It's going to pull that payment into this list. And usually it's going to show you that it found a match. You see, it's going to say something like this: match found, $7,500 received, matches invoice number 1017 in QuickBooks. Is that a match? And you come here and you say, yes, it's a match, and you click match. And so it's taken away some processes of you having to create your receipts or your bills, keep them together, send them to your accountant, or put them in Excel. It's taken away all of that headache with one click of creating the invoice from within here. And now, like I mentioned, you are able to come within those QuickBooks and change in the settings. You're able to come in here and customize how your invoices look. I'm clicking in the wrong place. Okay, let me show you something. Account settings. In the account settings, for some of you, you have logos. If you have a logo, you're able to upload that right here. You upload your logo right here, your company name, business number, all of this goes in here. Now, again, I don't recommend you do this yourself. Get help, but it's doable. Now you can come here and you customize your forms. How do you want your invoices to look? Let's do a new style of an invoice. We want that when a client gets an invoice, this is what it looks like. Oh, I don't like this style. Let's change it. Let's say we're going to put a logo to make the logo small or large, right? Put the logo on the left or on the right or in the middle. These are things you're able to change. Change the colors. You want it to look purple, a burgundy, fine. You want a different font. So there are things you can do here. And if you don't want this name to show up there, you can change it and put whatever you want it to be. It changes it directly there. Just note that this is what would be on all your invoices when you're sending it out. So you can fix this, make it look the way you want it to look. And then when you create your invoice for your clients, let me go back to that invoice that we're looking at. Let's see, we go back to sales, customers, or invoices. You can get it either way there. But let's say we go back to that invoice that we did for ABC staffing, and we don't like the way it looks. You set up your custom form styles from the very beginning, so all your invoices look the same. You can always change it, but it's better to keep your branding same across the board. Now, if we want to change it, I'm just going to pick the different style here. So that one that I created in the back, I'm saying this is what I want you to use now and show me what my invoices look like. And now it's changed. You probably wouldn't notice. Okay, yes, that's it. So it's a different color. It just shows differently. You're able to customize things the way that you want. You can add multiple lines to the same invoice. You can add multiple lines of transactions to the same invoice. You just have to make sure You have your sales taxes. Let's preview that. Now that's what the invoice looks like. Again, this is just a rough draft. You can always change up how it looks. You set it up to look the way you want. When the client pays you, you can come here and receive payment, or you can let the bank do its connection thing, and then you just go and match it right there. And you can receive payment, and then you deposit to the bank. And if you're doing a kind of business where you want people to pay you by credit card, and that's an option in your business, you can actually set up credit card payments, receiving credit card payments directly within QuickBooks. So when you send somebody an invoice, you can send somebody an invoice, and they get the invoice with a link. When they receive it, this link where it says print or save, for them is going to show pay invoice or something, and they can click here and pay directly by credit card on top of the invoice itself, and you receive your payment directly in QuickBooks. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. Time will not allow us to show all the features here. My recommendation, like I said, have someone set up your QuickBooks file for you. If you want to do the bookkeeping by yourself after that, by all means you can, but don't try to set up by yourself, because you can mess it up and it costs you a lot more money to come and meet us to fix it, because we need to see what should have been, what is, and then we see how to make it to what it's supposed to be. So it's just my recommendation. All right, that's a wrap. Questions?
Yes, please. Hi, so thanks for the information. Thanks, Minute, for setting up this. I have a question regarding the banking system, because I wasn't doing travel nursing for a while, so I closed the business account. So now the payment is going in my personal account.
From your corporation?
Well, it's sole proprietorship, and then I just recently switched to incorporation.
Okay.
So I've been just using the money from that account, to pay bills and whatnot. I don't have the business account set up yet again, because where I am, there is no Scotiabank. So I have to wait until I go back to Toronto.
You can create a bank account online, can't you?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, you can.
Your
So-
business had the account before, you just closed that account, but you like yeah, somebody had an answer. Vali, go ahead.
Yeah, you can. Actually, you have to set a date with TD or somebody. Just they will give you date and time, and you have to be on phone with them. It takes at least 45 minutes to create a bank account online, and they'll create your business account online. You just have to give them certain information and everything. And once it's done, they will send you the documents and everything via email. You just have to sign them, review them, and then you are good to go after that.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
I should have.
because you don't want to, it's a whole kind of worms you're opening there. You don't want to have your business transactions going into a personal bank account.
Right.
Because if, for example, down the road you're getting, for whatever reason, you're getting a review on audit, and you're not able to clearly show how the business is separate from you, then they are able to not only audit the business, they start looking at your personal things to see
Yes.
what you're like. You can't restrict them anymore because you've mixed the business with personal. You invited them into your house.
Right.
So you have to keep your things separate. And especially now that it's even a corporation again, you want to have a bank account in the name of the business.
Yes.
So yeah.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
if in relation to that and QuickBooks, don't connect the bank account to QuickBooks, because it's going to create a mess. It's going to bring all of your personal transactions to the list, and then you have to start filtering out what's personal and what's business. You just need
Right.
to, you would have to instead come and manually receive those payments that the clients are paying to you. And so like I was showing over here, when you come to sales, you go to the customer invoices, instead of, because you wouldn't have that connection on the bank, you would have to
Right.
create the invoice for the client, and then when they pay you, you come here and receive the payment. And unfortunately, this isn't going to a bank account. So we would normally have set up something else here, which is called shareholder loan. That way, all the payments that are supposed to go to the company are going into a shareholder loan account. And then you owe the company, or you have to give an account of how the money got used. So it's a messy situation. And a lot of that will probably end up as shareholder loans to you, which might trickle down as dividends. So you just want to keep a clean record, so it's clear what's business and what's personal.
Right. Okay. So the other question, if you don't mind, is I changed from the sole proprietorship to incorporation just this week. You know, I'm wondering if I should submit that document to the agency, or you know, what do I do? Should
I
I
didn't hear the question. When should you submit it to the agency?
I'm wondering if I should give them this new one, the incorporation. It's like, I don't know what they do with these documents when they ask for them. I'm thinking it has to do with the taxation where they report it.
Yeah.
So wondering if I should also give them this new one, or let them continue with the sole proprietorship. I don't know.
So
There is a
it's
reason why you, one second, there is a reason why you decided to incorporate. Was it because you'd done like an assessment and you saw your taxes were going to be a lot higher as a sole proprietorship versus as a business, and so you incorporated?
No, there are
Why did you
other.
why did you incorporate?
One of them I learned that the incorporation is you pay 15% to the government, while sole proprietorship is 30%. You know,
Yes and
that's
no.
why.
No, it's not a flat rate like that. It's depends on your tax bracket.
Yes.
A corporation generally, okay, here's a general thing. A corporation generally has a lower tax rate than an individual, period. Now, if the, especially for small businesses, right? Small business being like the first, I think the first $500,000 of income is considered, of taxable income is, it's a small business, it's taxed at a small business rate. And then after that, it's different. So yes, you're going to be taxed lower as a business, as a corporation. And if your intention is for them to pay your corporation, simple answer to your question is you have to give them the new document for your corporation. Is that the best thing for you to be a corporation versus to be a sole proprietorship? That's a question that we need to look at your numbers to say what is the best for your situation. But individuals would get a higher tax. Now, depends on what your tax bracket is. Your tax bracket could be as low as probably like 15%, or probably as high as in the 45, 50s. Depends on what the income is. And so it's not like individuals are going to pay 30%. No, that's not it. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yes, I'm always trying to understand it, but yeah, it's always a struggle, but yeah, little by little I'm getting there and understanding it.
Yeah, but that's why this Zooms are organized that Minette is doing here, because we realize that a lot of people get half truths or half information, and it doesn't allow them to make that decision that they're supposed to make. And so from what I'm hearing, you've heard bits and pieces from different places, but it's never been a full picture for you to know what choice you should make for yourself.
Right. And the other thing is I feel I'm trying, like when I'm submitting document or when I'm compiling my documents for taxation, I'm feeling I don't know. I don't have a list of what I'm supposed to put together. Even the other day, two nurses asked me, and I said, I'm gonna get it for you from my tax lady, but that paper is home and I'm not gonna bother her like that. So
Can
I'm
I
here of the things, like I named about 3, 4 stuff, and then I couldn't go any further.
say something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would like to tell you is that like seriously, like I can hear your concern, and I've had more than 100 to 200 people contact me for the same issues, right? People don't know
Right.
what to do. They don't have the right information. They don't have this, they don't have that. And so that is one reason why we have these Zooms. And that's why I keep encouraging people. Okay, we have a group of more than 2,000 to 3,000 nurses, but only 4 people are here today to listen to this Zoom and gain information, right?
Right.
How are they going to get that information if they don't log on? And when they log in, they get the information. You tell them, like, connect with the professionals that know. They are there. They understand your struggle because they directly work with you guys. They educate you guys for free. They are there to answer your questions. Like, these ladies are professionals. Other people pay for these services that they come and give us
Right.
to in the group for free. But we would rather go get other accountants that don't even understand your scope of work. They
Thank
don't have your work at heart. Like, these people have your interest, your best interest at heart. And that's why Ida is sacrificing her time to come and sit here and educate you for free, right? The only thing that we pay with these Zooms is that I have to pay for the subscription with the Zoom. That's all. Other than that, every other services that you guys are getting, these ladies are burning their hours, their minutes, all for free. So if you know that you have, I'm not telling you to switch your accountants, but I'm telling you that you have the opportunity. You are talking with the people that know the in and out. They can set up your business for you, your incorporation for you, your sole proprietorship for you. They can set it up for you from ground zero to ground top notch, and you will be worry free. So why
Yeah.
not make use of these things? And then I also tell people, like, please, when you guys get this information, comment on the group about the Zooms. Encourage other people. You know what I mean? Like, the Zoom
Yeah.
was good. I learned this today. Please, I would really advise everybody to join because I've learned this, that. Post about it so that many more people, your friends, instead of bothering you with answers that you don't even know about, they would connect you to the right people because these accountants already know the kind of expenses that travel nurses deal with. And so even if you don't know it, they will tell you, keep receipts for this, keep receipts for that, keep receipts, or maybe take these receipts right now and send to me right now. Now that you've just done the purchase this month, send it to me. And that's how you're going to have to pay less and less taxes. Last year, I paid no tax, but I made $3,000 back. So that's how advantageous these people are. But not that everybody is going to make the same like me because we have different expenses, we have different businesses, we have different write-offs and stuff. But that way, they brought down another person's receipt from 30-something thousand to $7,000 tax. So, you can pay way less and you can have way less worries. Make use of it.
Yes. The moment she came on, where am I?
Hi, Mark.
Is she there? Her.
Maureen or Stephanie, I'm not sure who is talking. The line just
No,
Oh,
no,
you
I'm not talking now.
referring to the accountant lady.
Okay,
Oh,
go
Marie,
ahead.
want to say something, dear? Oh,
No, Stephanie, go ahead.
okay. So the moment when you came on, I'm like, I've been listening and processing, putting things together in my head regarding what Minute just said, in terms of who should do your taxes. That came to me, but I just didn't bring it up yet. Because it's important, because based on what I'm feeling now, what I'm seeing, hearing from you and dealing with, you know, say my accountants, because it's a couple, either of them would do it. I've been dealing with them for a couple of years, but I just always feel like there's something missing. Something just not, I'm not feeling connected to what I'm getting. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a part of it. It just feels a little funny. Like, are they capturing everything? I always have questions. It goes so fast, So
Yeah.
I'm here processing and I'm like, oh my God, she knows exactly what we do. She understands it. She knows how to put everything together for us. So I've been thinking, I just didn't mention it. I was just waiting until afterwards I, say something to you.
Yeah.
And
Minette has all our contact information, and I'm sure she usually shares it with the group, right? So if you guys want to reach out, definitely.
Right.
and the
Can I say
thing is,
something?
yeah, 1 second, Maureen. Let me just
Okay.
quickly say this, and I rush somewhere. one thing that I'm going to say is that many people think in the group, because many other people have tried to message me, hey, Mims, I have this person that is my this. Can he join the education group? Can he join? Let me tell you, people, these people that I'm using, it's not as if any of them are my relatives or there are any of them that are my friends. I've not met any of them in person. All of these people here, they're here today because of their credentials. I have never met any of them in person. I've not met them in person. Like, these are people that are here because they've earned the credibility of being here. These are not people that is like my friend, my this, my dad. No, these are people that have earned it. Yes.
Yeah,
So that's
Minette, I
just all
think the
that I wanted
first time
to
you
add.
saw me was on the first time you saw me was on Facebook, right? From all the posts I was doing on Facebook
Yeah.
education, and you reached out from there. You said, "Hey, you got
Exactly.
nurses who are looking for information. Can I come and can talk in the group?"
Exactly.
So please, actually, I want to just encourage nurses, please, as many of us that are here today, let us, as Minette said, let us definitely publicize this thing. They know our peculiarities. Everybody can't be the same thing. And the information that I need, the other nurses may not need it. So that is why, like Minette said, we brought all these people in to help us out. They know where the shoe pinches. They can feel what we are doing. How can I go? And like I said, I cannot be a nurse and at the same time be an accountant. I cannot be a nurse and at the same time be a tax woman. I cannot. So definitely I'm begging us, please, we can't be working that long hours and everything, which we have to face a lot of things on the field. And now our money now will be going, no, let us employ people that can definitely do. And as Mine said, everybody that we brought to this floor, we can vouch for them that they are credibility. They have that credibility. Thank you so much, so much, so much, so much. Thank you once again. God bless you.
You're very welcome. And
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yes.
You have a good evening, everyone. And
Thank you. Take care.
yeah, you have my email, so you can reach out.
Yeah.
Adifia, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Minette, bye.
Minette, I'm not sure
guys.
where this recorded because
It's
it looks like I am the host.
no, we are co-hosting right now. It's recorded on my iCloud. So if you want it, I can also send it to you.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's
All
on
right.
the other one. I made a mistake and recorded on my computer, and I cannot find it where it got saved.
Oh, that's the one that I sent to you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I sent. But the rest of them, they are all recorded on the iCloud, and I have them posted on the YouTube. Hopefully today I can be able to get this to the YouTube and to the group as well.
Okay.
So you
All
guys
right.
can be
Cool.
able to watch it. Mm-hmm.
Ida, can you please send me your email address again, please? I don't know. I'm not able to find it.
Okay. Let me. Let's see. I think I'm gonna drop it in the chat.
Sounds good.
I hope nope, I didn't type it right. Ida Peerless account. Jesus Christ, I'm not even typing my name right. Ida at peerlessaccounting.ca.
Yeah. Yep. Got it. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye now.
Bye for now. Yeah. Bye.